Further debate?
Over here.
Further debate?
Over here.
Oh, sorry, I recognize the member for Guelph.
Speaker, it's nice to see you in the chair. It's the first time you've been in the chair when I've spoken in the House today. Speaker, I rise to contribute to the debate on Bill 218. And Speaker, you know what? The government's tried to pass off a lot of things as COVID recovery over the last few months. And I was disappointed, but not surprised to see so many bills attacking environmental protections. But what truly shocked me was to see the government attack local democracy in the name of COVID recovery. And so I asked the members opposite, how can you sit here in good conscience, sit here at Queen's Park and tell residents, mayors, and city councils that they cannot take steps to improve their democracy? How dare the Premier use the iron hand of big government to stop people from making elections more democratic, healthier, and more inclusive? How can the government even consider that less democracy is somehow better for fighting COVID-19? How is it part of anything to do with COVID recovery? So it's so disheartening to me to see COVID being weaponized to attack local democracy and to attack improvements around electoral reform. Speaker, London was the first city in Ontario to use ranked ballots, and it was a huge success. According to a study by Unlock Democracy, London Council, elected under a ranked ballot system, has a stronger democratic mandate based on a mathematical model of voter preferences than any city in Ontario. No wonder London City Council voted 14-1 to oppose the Premier's attack on local elections. 15 city councils now, in just a few weeks we've been able to debate this, 15 city councils have passed resolutions condemning the Ontario government for banning ranked ballots in Bill 218 and for micromanaging local elections. Barrie, Brantford, Cambridge, Cobourg, Grey Highlands, Kingston, London, Moonbeam, Mono, Peterborough, Prince Edward County, and Thunder Bay have all passed resolutions saying, let us make our own decision when it comes to improving our democracy. You know, Speaker, ranked ballots is one of the best tools we have to increase diversity on municipal councils. We saw this in London, and the government's taking that tool away from local governments. Numerous studies have shown that voting systems using ranked ballots lead to more cooperation and less confrontation, more working together and less hyper-partisanship on city councils, and yet the government is taking that away. So the irony for me is the government is sort of right now when it comes to addressing COVID saying, you know, hey, we're going to take our hands off the wheel and let local municipalities and local medical health officers make more decisions. But when it comes to your democracy, we're going to tell you you can't make your own decisions. They want to jump in and micromanage local democracy. And one of the excuses for this is that the government is putting a price on democracy. And I ask people, I ask the members opposite, I ask the people of Ontario, it costs 10 cents. 10 cents for London to conduct a ranked ballot election. Is democracy worth 10 cents? I'd say it's worth a heck of a lot more than 10 cents. I'd actually say democracy is priceless. Dave Meslin, the creative director of Unlock Democracy, said it best. As America begins, and I quote, as America begins to recover from 4 years of attacks on democracy, decency, and truth, this government is about to become the first and only government in Canada to ban a common voting system that was already in use with zero consultation, end quote. A form of voting, frankly, Speaker, that was good enough for the members opposite to elect their own leader, but somehow is not good enough for the residents of municipalities all across this province to elect their mayors and councillors. You know, Speaker, democracy is fragile. One of the things, I'm working on changing the House Leader's mind on this one. Give me a few more minutes here and I'll have it changed. Democracy is fragile. Democracy is fragile, Speaker. We have seen that. If that is one lesson we have learned over the last few years, is the fragility of democracies. And so I would argue that we as legislators, as elected members of this House, we should do everything we can to improve democracy, to empower citizens to improve democracy, to enable and assist local citizens to determine the best way their local democracy should be conducted. Why are we taking it away? Nobody is saying they have to use ranked ballots. Nobody is saying that. But why are we taking away their democratic ability to improve their local democracy? Speaker, it's wrong. And I'm encouraging the members opposite to recognize that and vote against Bill 218 today. I want to shift briefly in a little bit of time. I want to leave my colleague here a bit of time. But I want to spend a little bit of time talking about long-term care, Speaker. You know, the budget that just came out was a test, a real test of the government's commitment to long-term care. Their commitment to funding a minimum standard of 4 hours of care so we can begin to fix the tragedy that so many families went through in the spring. The heartbreaking stories we heard about what happened in our long-term care home. And so not only did we not see money to fund staff for our long-term care in the budget, now we're debating a bill that actually provides a get-out-of-jail-free card for negligent, bad actors. I think it's wrong. Anybody who's been listening to or reading, I should say, because they're not happening publicly, anybody who's been reading what's coming out of the Public Commission on Long-Term Care, anybody who just had to go through the heartbreaking reading of the military reports of what happened in negligent long-term care, testimony that came from the Canadian military, knows that we cannot allow bad actors to get out of jail free card. I want to just quote one of the stories that really touched me, and it speaks to what was happening in long-term care prior to the pandemic. One of the stories that was told to the commission, and I quote, Carolyn Wells said, and I quote, "My dad was admitted on November 5th, 2018. And the next day, we all got a call that he had a lesion on his arm. He failed the day he was admitted. On November 15th, he fell out of bed and he hit his right elbow. On November 27th, he had a skin tear on his right hand. He was in the TV room and tried to stand. Later, he was found in the parking lot, and my dad could not walk. He was in a wheelchair, and he had a major stroke. So he was found out in the parking lot." End of quote. Speaker, some of these homes knew prior to COVID-19 that they were underserving their residents. They knew that 1 RN per floor was not enough. They knew that the minimum standards of care were not enough. They knew that there were not enough staff to provide the care their residents deserved. And no wonder when COVID-19 hit, we saw the tragic consequences. And now the government is proposing to provide immunity for those negligent actors. There is no reason that a bill that should be written to provide, I think we talked about the Ontario Nonprofit Network saying, we need immunity for nonprofits. We need some support for small businesses and sports clubs and community organizations, and I would even argue well-run long-term care homes. But there is no reason to use the cover to provide some legal support to nonprofits and small businesses as a way to excuse negligent care. Our elders deserve better. Our loved ones deserve better. So I'd ask the government not to use the support that nonprofits legitimately need to provide cover for those long-term care homes that don't deserve this. Their actions and the results of their actions don't deserve this. And so I'd ask the members opposite to stand up today and vote against Bill 218, because our elders deserve to know that we have their back. Thank you, Speaker.
Further debate?